cannot.
Yeah, you can't pick up
That's
people's
right.
checks.
That can be
That's
considered a
right.
bribe.
Yeah,
That's
that could be
right.
considered a bribe.
I can understand
That's
that.
why that
I can
is.
understand that.
Yeah.
And being in
I
DC,
get that.
Yeah.
But I think for the average diner out there, when you're going in groups, I like that idea. Just cash out one person
Yes.
and
Please.
let that person pay the bill. All
Yeah.
right.
It makes your server experience, the experience of going out and just being with your friends so much easier. And it just makes it a nicer experience. You will leave the establishment saying, you know what, I had a great time. Not that grind at the end. Everything was going great until the grind at the end. I don't understand why people put themselves through it, and it's every night.
You could tell, Cheryl, if your party had a great experience of how the thank you went at the end.
No
So
question. No doubt. No doubt.
so if you genuinely with me, I love to smile. I'm like, hey, thanks. All right, my name's LaDawn. These are the days I'm here. Yada. A bad experience. Thank you. Y'all have a great night. We don't. You don't get to know my name. You don't get to know anything.
Oh, you mean the thank you from your server?
yes.
The thank you, the Don Pros. The thank you from your server. I got it. Okay, wonderful. Understood.
But I do
Yes,
want to say
Kevin.
this about the reservations.
Uh-huh.
New Year's Eve, Valentine's Day, we know when it is. Don't call us up the week of talking about, bro, can you get me in? You know it's on the 14th.
Valentine's Day is big.
You know Valentine's Day is the 14th. I don't care what day of the week you fall on. It's February 14th. It's been that way since I've been alive, and it's 54 years. Don't call me up or text me, bro, can you get me in?
That's true.
Everybody know New Year's Eve is the 31st of December. We've known this for years. Stop texting me and calling me, bro, can you get me a reservation? Nah, bro, I can't. You know these dates, okay? You write them down. These are certain dates you know is going to be the date. They don't change. The day may change, but it don't change. Those are the 2 days that drive the reservation.
Kevin, we just got our money together. It wasn't looking
Tell
good.
the truth, shame
It
the devil.
wasn't looking good for the 13th.
Tell the truth, shame the devil.
No, listen, Kevin.
February 14th is
now,
this Sunday.
Scratch my
next
money
Sunday.
together.
Be ready.
Can you get me in on the 14th? I'll pull my change together.
Okay, but call me in January. Don't call me February 13th to try to get you in on the 14th. It ain't gonna happen. We booked. We done.
It won't happen if he calls you on the 11th.
Don't call me December. Don't call me the morning of New Year's Eve.
And we
I
get
got
in.
a lot of those calls. Usually the morning of New Year's Eve and the morning of Valentine's Day, I get a lot of text messages. Yo, you still work at such and such? Can you get me in? I can get you in the lobby. That's about the close we gonna get you in. Like, come on, bro. You know you have a woman.
Are you bartending tonight? We're gonna stop by and see you. Nuh-uh, don't do that. Don't do that. We're gonna stop by and see you. Nah, don't do that. I work a couple of us shifts. You don't need to come today. We're good. I want to come say hi. No, you don't.
And stop looking for the hookup.
Listen, Kevin, have any of y'all ever did like a proposal? Have y'all ever been part of a proposal at the restaurant where somebody
I can take this. I can take this. I can take this.
Okay.
I can take this. All right. There's a lot that goes into it. And there was this one restaurant that I worked at, and we had 4 consecutive no's. And every time somebody was like this, yeah, we got a proposal. I'm like, it's not this restaurant. And ironically, the restaurant was called That's Amore. So a lot of people wanted to always get like engaged there. Listen, don't put everybody involved in a restaurant, for your engagement. It's a personal thing, do that, somewhere that it's extremely personal for you and that person. Doing it in a restaurant, it becomes very, very tricky. The person doesn't know, you could get hurt. It's not good. And you're also handing someone a ring extremely expensive that you all haven't insured yet. So sometimes the managers will put it in the safe. Sometimes they'll put it there. I can't find a manager when it's time for the proposal. Sometimes they want it in like a certain dessert dish, and we're trying to make sure that nothing happens to it. It's too much responsibility for something of that stature
That is super expensive.
That is that expensive for you to hand over to somebody for experience. Don't do it at a restaurant.
Cheryl, let me just say real quick. I've had a couple of them, and you're just like, please, just go right, please, because I just can't.
Exactly.
I've seen crying. I've seen fighting. I've seen all kinds of stuff with this. The one that sticks out to me happened about 4 years ago. Big HBCU here in DC. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Girl graduated. Family comes in. New York, New Jersey, everywhere come in. Boyfriend from somewhere in Georgia, dirt roads. So father already mad that the boy here. He comes out. I'm in the lobby. He's like this. Yeah, I'm going to propose to my girlfriend while all her family's here because she just graduated. I said, son, I don't know about this. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know you like that. I don't know you like that. But her daddy's sitting there with the mean mug with the steak just peering at you. Like, please don't do that here.
Right.
Please don't do that here. So the boy is hard-headed. So we get all together and stuff like that. We come out and, we sang a little song and we put the thing down and she's crying. All I see is the father with the steak knife running towards the boy. I snatch him. I hit the dad. I said, sit down. I said, outside. Big melee. Everybody trying to kill the boy. The girl's crying. She just graduated from an expensive HBCU here.
Oh my gosh.
It's all in here now. And, ain't too many of us in this restaurant. So everybody's now like, oh God, the black people are fighting. They're fighting. Get my check. So like the dad comes up to me. He goes, were you part of this simple-mindedness? I said, sir. I said, how you doing today? I said, just like I just met you, I just met him. The boy gave it to me. He goes, why'd you take it? I said, do I know you? They outside. So our front of our restaurant has all glass. She outside holding him crying. The mama, she crying. Everybody crying at the table. The dad was like, I'll just take another drink. I said, you just trying to kill a man in my restaurant. Everybody got to go. Everybody got to go.
It's more problematic than it's worth.
It is definitely more problematic than it's worth. And that one resonates in my head more than anything.
Well, I could only imagine why. Yikes.
All I'm gonna say is this, okay, and I learned this one when we were at Rock. The Friday night, the dinner party, the guy's gonna propose. Now tell people this, you should have already asked and you just presenting the ring. That's the ring ceremony.
Exactly.
If you ain't asking yet,
if you
just like Cheryl said, Cheryl, just like you told me, ask Nancy. If I ain't get the confirmation, we ain't going in. It kind of worked out for me, but it was supposed to be a late night because it was a late night party. People came late. You know how it happens. And all I know was dinner went out. And then all of a sudden, the whole dining room cleared out. And I said, what happened? And it said, he proposed and she said no.
Oh.
And like all of a sudden, the desserts that we have with the cut.
It happens more often
than
you would think.
Yeah,
it happens
more than you think.
That's sad.
I'm like, bro, you should have. Did you talk to somebody before this?
Yeah.
Did y'all have a conversation in the bed? Did you say, hey, baby, do you ever want to get married? And she said, I'll marry you anytime, anywhere. And all you gotta do is present a ring. Don't assume or do.
No.
I took care of a family in my Morton's days. I took care of a family. It was 4. He had already did 3 stints in Afghanistan, and he came back and he was going to ask, and it was her parents. So it was 4 of them. Ask in front of her parents to marry him, and I guess he had gone through some sort of a PTSD, so he wasn't really all there. Man, he breaks out this ring. The parents look across. She's like, I can't marry you. And then just like a melee, like with LaDawn happened, furniture started moving. And, this dude's got PTSD. It was, I need people from the kitchen. We got to hold people back. Just it's more problematic than it's worth.
All right, guys. Y'all heard it. Y'all heard it from the people in the industry. No restaurant.
Do it at home.
It don't necessarily have to be at home.
Text it.
You need to do it in a personal place where you and that person can be satisfied with the decision of the woman. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Whoa, wait, what did you just say?
You all need to be in a place when the outcome happens, where the woman, if it's no or yes, you need to be in that spot where if something goes down, it ain't in front of all other people. The decision of the woman is the matter.
What did your husband say?
He basically is, no, we got engaged at this park that we played cards at. It's called Lady Boyd Johnson Park.
No, I understand that. It should be personal. It should be personal to the couple.
Yeah, it has to be very personal to the couple. We left afterwards and met up with a whole bunch of people because he set it up afterwards. But it was like, if we come in, if she says no, but I already know, he already knew I was going to say yes.
Well, see, I think that's the key, right?
Yeah.
Where's the disconnect with couples where you are at a restaurant, a public place, and you don't already know that this person is really going to say yes? Like, that's crazy.
Exactly.
That's another job that we have to be sure. We got to be a psychiatrist on that one too.
Exactly. We got to do that too. Yeah, just add some more.
The ring is going to make her say yes. Or when she see this 2-carat diamond, she going to say yes. Don't mean that, bro.
No.
Yeah, it doesn't mean that. Yeah. All right, so proposals going wrong.
Hold up, Cheryl. You don't think it's before you ask that next question real quick. You don't think it's the decision of the woman to make the decision on the proposal?
Oh, no, it is. It is. I was thinking about
Oh, okay.
It is.
I say,
but here's my problem. It's like, where is the disconnect with that couple that you are in a restaurant and you have already purchased a ring? Regardless of how much the ring costs, right? You still made a purchase. Like, you purchased the ring and you have no clue whether this person going to say yes or no. Like, there's some delusion going on. There's a big disconnect.
It is a big disconnect.
Yeah, it's a disconnect.
It's a big disconnect.
Yeah. It's not good. It's not good. So how do we feel about those orders when, in I guess when the kitchen is about to close? And why do y'all feel the need to tell us that the kitchen is about to close? Like, I'm sitting here. If the door say y'all close at 1 p.m., don't come to me at 12 and see if I got anything else I want to order because y'all about to close the kitchen.
1 hour is extremely unacceptable. But normally, or sometimes, either management is, let's say you made a reservation. We close, let's say the restaurant closes at 11. And you're 5 minutes late. It becomes, and you show up. The management doesn't want to mess up your experience, so they're going to let you in. So now it's my job to tell you that the kitchen is closing, because management is going to be on me about, hey, did you get the order in? Because he's going to tell the kitchen, hey, don't shut everything down because we have another table out here. Now, if it's of a larger party, so let's say the reservation is 10:30. The restaurant closes at 11, and it's at this point the not seating an incomplete party doesn't exist anymore. It only exists, during prime time hours. So they seat 4 out of the 6 people. So 4 of y'all are there, and then and that's 10:45, and we're still waiting on the other 2 people. Then again, I will alert you: the kitchen closes at 11. We need to get the order in by 11 o'clock. The kitchen, which people don't know, have strict labor hours. They don't want the kitchen to go into overtime at all. They have to clock out at certain times. It's not necessarily our fault that we have to inform you that the kitchen closes at a certain time. An hour is egregious, but 15 minutes too, I gotta tell you. And if it's after the time that we close, even though you've made it into the restaurant, I have to say, I have to get this order in by this certain time, or I can't get you your food.
Understood.
So also, double back that. All right. So every state has laws of how long you should be open. So let's say we close at 10 o'clock. By 12 o'clock, all liquor, alcohol, everyone needs to be out of the building. Certain states have certain laws like that where it's controlling what's going on. So we're telling you these things.
Or LaDawn, tell them if you're in a certain building, like when you used to work in the bottom of the FBI building?
Yeah, Secret Service building. Yeah, Secret Service building. I worked no one knew it was the top part of this building was a Secret Service lab. No one knew. And you had to be off that premises by a certain time, or the guys would start walking around with the dogs surrounding the building because they needed you off that premises because it was a government facility in the bottom of that building. You had to go. You had to go. So I also tell people all the time too, when people get really upset about, You tell me the kitchen is closed. I can't get in here. So the biggest thing I tell people all the time, the bank says it closes at 4 o'clock and it has your money. You run and you get in there before 4 o'clock.
You ain't lying.
You get that money. The bank that has your money. Your bank has your money. And people break their neck to get in their building before 4 o'clock. No ifs, ands, and no buts. But a restaurant's a whole different ballgame. I tell people all the time, what time your bank close? 4, straight hard close. Lady at the door, 3:57 with the key, looking crazy, just ready to lock it up. You know, just ready to lock it up.
That's real facts.
But we in restaurants, oh, the door's still open, but we've been closed for an hour, but the door open. Yeah, because people gotta leave. People gotta leave. We can't lock people in. You gotta let them go.
And Cheryl, getting the order in is the most important thing. The bartender's going to stay late. We can make drinks till whenever.
Until the law provides us to say that we got to get you all in the building.
For desserts, even if the dessert or the pastry chef leaves, majority of the servers that close are experienced servers. They can make the desserts. But Kevin will tell you, they start closing the kitchen down a half an hour before the close. You can't wait until 11 o'clock to stay breaking down the kitchen because of labor. Go, Kevin.
Okay, so
Kevin.
I got you.
yeah, Kevin.
So if the restaurant closes at 11, by 10:15, we starting to break down the kitchen. Okay, you're putting food away, you're cleaning the back, you're doing all these different things, depending on what is required. Some people got to do the floors, depending on what's got to be done. You want to get all your dirty pans and stuff down to the dishwasher. So you still have certain things. So you don't need the whole entire kitchen, but you need some of the staff there. Bottom line is, okay, the way some system works is some food is ordered and then it's fired. So they order the food, it's cooked, it steaks rest, meat rest, the fish put to the side. Now we're waiting for you to fire this order, okay? Because you want everything to go out hot. So when you do that and you come in late, now we're sitting around, now you're stopping the process, the closing process. You know what I mean? Just like you have the opening process, you have the closing process. You got to count the meat, you got to count the fish, you got to waste log, you do all this stuff has to get done if you're a supervisor before you leave. So just like you said, at the end of the bank may close at 4 o'clock, but they're still inside doing their numbers. You gotta do before you leave. We can't do what we gotta do until you're done, until your food goes out. We can do some of it, but we can't do all of it. So we sit around and we wait and we wait and we wait. The problem I have with that is that and I give you an example. I was working at this particular place in Texas, and we had a prime rib that was ready at 4 o'clock, right? 4 o'clock, you can order prime rib. It was early, the prime rib was ready. Somebody sells it at $3.50. The next person, the next day it was at $3.45. By the end of the week, they're trying to sell a prime rib at 3 o'clock. At 3 o'clock, the prime rib wasn't ready. The general manager came in there complaining, and the chef said, but we don't start till 4 o'clock. You see how the time went from 4 to 3? If a restaurant closed at 11, and Rocka tell you this, LaDonna tell you this, there are times it's 12:30, you still cooking. You're like, okay, when did the time change?
Yes.
Yep. No doubt.
The concept is, well, as long as they're cooking, I guess the kitchen's still open. And the thing about managers who are trying to get their bonus, they're trying to see people, and then more people come in, and more people come in. And then you got people at the bar, and then people are trying to make money. And you look up, it's 11:45. And it's like, okay, what just happened? I have to get up in the morning. I have to get the kids. I got another job, whatever the situation is.
Yeah.
And so you're going to have late tables. It happens, but you don't want it because it becomes habitual.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
I know I could go in there because you came in 11:05 last time, but you dropped a bunch of money. So now you feel I could walk at 11:15. We had a situation with one of the basketball players who came in late each time, Later. Then one day
Oh,
he
wow.
showed
You're not
up.
going to say the name, Kev? You ain't
No.
going to drop that name?
No, don't talk
The
about it.
Wizards, from the Wizards, but he showed up.
Don't
And I
drop
was in
the
the locker
name.
room. I'm in the locker room getting dressed, and they looking at me. I'm like, I'm off the clock. And so he wrote an email, and management got back to me the next day. And I said, I was in the locker room. But at what point? I said, what's next? I got to get out of my bed and come cook his food? So you accommodate people, and you bend, and people keep pushing you to bend.
Take advantage. They
Yeah,
take
and
advantage.
you give them an inch, they take a mile. So you gotta, and then the other side of it, which I thought which drives me crazy from the restaurant side, is you seat the late tables, but then you complain about the labor hours. You can't have it both ways. You can't talk about you got too much overtime, but you want to see everybody at 11:30. You sat a 10 top, a 5 top, and an 8 top at 11:30. Ready to cook the food.
I do also want to add in, Cheryl, and this ties into what Kevin was saying about reservations. For a lot of reasons unknown to me, that a lot of people don't make reservations due to the time. So let's say, for example, whether it's late or early, if you want to come into the restaurant at like 5 or 6 o'clock, you're like, nobody's there, we don't need to make a reservation, we'll just come in. If it's 10:30 or 10:45, no one's there, we don't make a reservation. The way that the labor works amongst the managers in corporate office is, like LaDawn had said earlier, if money's not being generated, then this is when we start cutting staff.
Yes.
If we make reservations,
Yes.
just make the reservation. As far as the management team can do, they can staff it better, which will make your experience better. If more deuces just didn't say, we'll just show up and make a reservation, more servers will be on the floor. We're not going to cut a bartender, so now your drinks are delayed. We're not going to cut, 2 or 3 of the line cooks, so now Kevin is overwhelmed with 7 or 8 checks, 5 minutes to closing. The more reservations that we have, the better of the staffing.
You can plan. You can plan.
Absolutely.
It's just like if you had a party and you ask people just to say that you're coming. And this way, how much food you got to cook, how much liquor you got to buy. That's just the most simplest way of thinking about it. If I tell them I'm coming, they know they're going to have my food.
Right. There's going to be a plate for you.
That's correct.
I got it. All right. So how do we feel, because you celebrations, along with the line of celebrations at the restaurant, when we bring our own cake?
No. Don't bring in outside food.
So now, because of COVID, they have ixnayed inside food. Most restaurants used to do commercial cakes only. Like it had to come from a place that was commercial. Most restaurants made
definitely no homemade cake. First of all, no homemade cake.
Not from grandma's house, no.
Not from grandma. That's definite no.
No Dunkin' Hines. No Dunkin' Hines.
Some restaurants charge you a cake cutting fee because now you're not getting dessert, but we still having to cut it. And so a couple of things. We had an incident where we have a good friend of ours. This family wanted her, Lord, to put sparklers in a cake for their parents' 50th birthday.
Okay.
All right, so she has it on the cart, and this lady was OCD. She kept coming out, fixing the cart up. My friend rolled it, had the sparklers on, had sand in it, sparklers, everything. Whoosh, cake.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
The parents found it hilarious. It was like, this is just fitting, our 50th. We had a big blowout. This lady was in that restaurant 2 weeks straight trying to get money back off the thing because we burnt up her cake.
Oh
yeah, and we also had chef go back and try to reconstruct the
cake. We had a pastry lady, we had
to bring it back into the room. Yeah, it was. I remember. Yeah, that was crazy.
Now next are these designer cakes that look like Louis Vuitton and Christy Louboutin.
That's the latest thing.
Okay,
the weed cakes.
With money. Okay, these things are pretty. They are pretty, but they're not for consumption. One, because they all don't taste very good. Two, they're very hard to cut because they are designed to look pretty.
Yep.
So you will have these cakes and you're trying to do a favor of cutting it for someone's guest. And then you'll have the hostess, she destroyed my cake. I'm trying to cut the cake and you think I'm trying to destroy it.
Right.
So now if you bring in your own cake, I go, here's some knife, here's some fork, you cut it, I pass it out. You destroy your own cake.
Yeah.
You didn't think from me, we're not charging you a cake cutting fee. Here's your own thing. And I had a lady who had, she had one of those cakes and she goes, you're not gonna cut it for me? I said, no. She goes, why? I said, because that didn't come from here. I said, everything that comes from here, I serve. This didn't come from here. And she goes, well, this is not service. I said, what's gonna happen is I'm gonna cut the cake like I cut my kid's birthday cake, and then you're gonna have a problem because you wanna keep taking pictures and whatever. You destroyed your own cake. And then we got into it. My manager was like this. Actually, she really doesn't even have to cut the cake. They do it out of the courtesy because we don't charge you a cake cutting fee. And we allowed you to bring it in. So you either can take it with you and order desserts from here, or you cut your own cake. Those are your two options. But see, I also have management that will
back you up.
When it comes to something that's right.
Right.
Because I'm not trying to destroy your cake. She goes, so she's not trying to destroy your cake. She's trying to keep it in the presentation. She told you which way to get around it. She gave you 3 options and none just working. And now that's where it goes back to server versus servette.
Let me just add in another job description before you go, Kevin. Now we got to be your culinary expert too. Yeah, we got to do that too. Just throw that on to the top of all the jobs we do.
Something about cakes, okay? And I learned this from a pastry chef who did wedding cakes. And I asked him, I said, how come the cakes are so dry? The more designs you want on the cake, the drier it has to be so it can hold up. So if you really want to wow people, and a few people I know done this, they'll get a wedding cake and they'll bring it out, and then they have a sheet cake.
Yes.
Dressed like the wedding cake,
because it's so much
you
better.
cut it in the back.
Yeah.
But you doll that cake up to look a certain way, it has to hold up.
Yeah.
If it's too moist, it's going to fall in.
That's right.
Okay. So it's not really. If you ever see the Culinary Olympics, that food is not edible. They shellac it. They do whatever they got to do to make it look good. It's all about the eye appeal.
Yes.
Okay. So if you're sitting there and you're ordering this cake because they look a certain way, they have to make it a certain dryness so they can design it, put the things on top of it, and you know, so it can look a certain way. It's not going to taste good. So it's not going to cut good. You know what I mean? So when you cut it, whatever.
It's going to flake. It's going to dry out. It's going to fall apart. He's 100% correct. The prettier the cake it is, the soon as you cut it, it just goes. Broop.
Yeah. Well, that fondant, they have to use the fondant for most of those cakes now that you said a shoe is on it or it's shaped like a Gucci bag or it's money or whatever. And fondant is very thick.
Yes.
And it makes it so sweet. And then the cake inside is, like we said, is not like moist.
No.
So I get it.
It's like it's like sugar wrap cardboard.
Yeah.
Sugar wrap cardboard. That's what it is. You take cardboard, you wrap it in sugar, and then you put it out there, and that's all it is. Sugar wrap cardboard.
All right. So here's the thing. I have a girlfriend who is big on this. And actually, she got me into it too, because I just thought it was the right thing to do. She always, when we get to the restaurant, say, "Can I get a cup of hot water?"
Rock.
Oh my God.
A cup of hot water so she can stick her silverware in it and wash off her silverware, so to speak.
Listen, there is not enough hot water that we can put in a coffee cup, a glass from the coffee machine that's not going to be hotter than the dish machine. Our dishwasher gets somewhere between 195 to 220. I think 220 is probably the max. You know what I mean? The hot water out of a coffee machine that we're giving to you that you think is boiling, that it is really, really hot, is around like 115 to 125. And it's embarrassing. If you don't trust the place, you know, with the silverware, just don't go there. If you got to put hot water for your silverware on the table, you're embarrassing yourself. It's going to fall over. It's going to spill on the table. Everybody's going to jump up. They don't want to move. Yeah, it's not good etiquette. It's not good restaurant etiquette. It's not helping you. You are not going to leave the restaurant more healthier without the water in the silverware in the hot water than it was before. It's just not. I mean,
it's a couple of 2 times fold of that situation. And if you think your silverware is extremely dirty, just ask for a new set. Number one. All right, just ask for a new set. Be like, someone here, can I just get a new set? They'll bring you a new set, and with that, they will spot check your silverware before they bring it back to you. If you got a problem with it, don't sit there and play dishwasher at my table. Number one. Number two, all right, everyone that does that, I will probably see the next day at some kind of fast food establishment that is equally don't have the greatest letter on the side of the wall, or have eaten street food, but all of a sudden in a fine dining restaurant, the silverware is not equivalent to the street hot dog you just had. So with that, and then the third thing I had talking to this lady one day, she said to me, I'm a world traveler and I've eaten things. She goes, I would rather eat crickets from Zimbabwe than eat McDonald's, because I have found out that the crickets are more cleaner than a McDonald's hamburger. So, all right. So when you come certain places, certain things are expected. And number one, I'm not going to give you anything at my table to disrupt me. I always tell people, and I think me and Kevin and my husband all live in this indoctrination of, we treat you like you come into my house. All right.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna cook a steak.
That's why we call you guests.
I like that.
Yes, you're a guest.
That's why you're our guest and not our customer. You're our guest.
That's why you're a guest.
You're my customer if you get on my nerves.
Customers at Walmart.
You're my customer if you get on my nerves. You're my guest if we having a good time.
Nice.
Hey, sir, it's extremely embarrassing for me for you to sit in front of me for this amount of time and then say, you know what, I want to box up my own food. I was like, you've been in front of me for an hour and a half. You still haven't trusted me? You know, that trust and bond happened within the first 5 minutes of me greeting you. You said, I want to put my silverware in hot water, is telling me that you don't trust me. And that is a huge insult to me and to my professionalism, the service I want to give you. Because now at this point, it's like, you don't respect my time. You don't respect my profession for me to give you proper plateware, silverware, and glassware. But you're going to sit here in front of me for an hour and a half or 2 hours.
Also, too, Cheryl, real quick. All right, so most fine dining restaurants, we use white plates. All right, overtime and stuff like that. Not that they're dirty, it's wear and tear. Wear and tear. When you stack plates on top of each other,
that's right,
they start to scrape the plates.
That's right.
When you sit down at a table with a bread and butter plate, the plate is not dirty, it's frayed because it's a commercial place and we're using it over and over again. Don't do this. My plate is dirty. Your plate's not dirty because I checked my station before I sat you down. We have to go through, we polish all our silverware polish. It's normal wear and tear of where you might see like gray streaks. Yeah, that's because of heat, stacking, plates do it all the time. Even in your own home, you'll see like after a while plates. That does not constitute your plate is dirty. So that's number one. Number two, if you find yourself in a situation where you do find it, please be very tactful of how you handle it. I've had people shove plates at me, like I purposely dirtied their plates, sullied their plates, or my plate touched her plate I only got 2 hands. I got to bring out 7 plates. They're going to stack up against each other. Unless you got an allergy, I'm going to definitely make sure that they're not cross-contaminating. It happens. If you dine out, certain things are a part of the situation of carrying things, of how things are done. People take very good pride in carrying their food to the table when it comes to things. And it's also a skill. There's not a lot of people that can carry 5 or 6 plates at one time to your table.
Right.
So, you know, it's and those plates are hot.
Very hot.
Very hot.
So when you got your food, your phone, all where you're supposed to have your bread plates, and we're staring at you and you looking at us, and now I gotta play Magic Magician with 18 plates, moving your phone, moving your plates. And then before I even get to putting everybody food, where's my
Yeah.
even put down
Annoying.
in front of the thing. Now
Yeah,
you know if you was at home and mommy put down that food and you start acting like that, someone's gonna get in a little trouble.
Yeah.
My thing is, what happened to your good home sense and common sense out in public?
I like that. Good,
Cheryl,
good info. Yes.
have you ever been somewhere and you saw us acting up and you've been like, oh my God, it's kind of embarrassing?
Yes, absolutely.
That's how we feel when we see the hot water in the middle of the table with the silverware, and we in the kitchen, we go like this. Look at these mofos here. Oh my good Lord. You just in the kitchen like this, and you shaking your head, or you sitting down eating with your friend, and you look over, and it's a bunch of black people, especially when it's a big top, like a 10 top, and you see all the silverware, like 5 hot cups, you like this. It's embarrassing.
Not to mention, probably like 98% of the time when someone does that, your tip percentage is already in the toilet.
Done. Mm-hmm. You're done. Certain characteristics, I hate to be stereotypical, but certain characteristics that you see at tables of activities and stuff, it's you see because of lower grade dining.
It's a red flag.
It's a red flag. So
it's a huge flag.
As a lot of these things, and I understand from lower grade restaurants that you might want to wash off your silverware, you might want to do certain things.
Get it to go.
You know, you get it to go. But when you're coming out and you have to be, I liken it to my always going to say, when you know what happens when you go to church and court. 2 things wouldn't happen when you go to church and court. You got to be dressed correctly and you got to act correctly. Mm-hmm. So when you,
I like that.
You got to dress, yes, you got to dress correctly, you got to act correctly. Church and court, 2 places.
Yes.
So when you go to a nicer establishment, I'm not saying that you have to put on airs or change the personality of who you are, do anything any different or be any different. I'm just asking, why can't you give the respect that you are a courteous individual of upgrading yourself, of learning a new experience and being in a new environment to try to learn something different? That's just me.
Yes, I like that. It's good information.
Yeah.
Kevin, what do we mean by medium rare?
Okay, medium rare is is a temperature above rare, just below medium. It's usually between 110 to 115, people say 120, depending on where you're at. You have is the inside is red, a bright red, but hot. Okay, or when you get to medium, that's when the inside is pink. A lot of people confuse medium rare with medium. If you don't like your food, how can I put it? The cut of the steak also depends on too. Okay, so if you're ordering medium rare, you mostly want to eat steaks that's less fat.
Correct.
You don't want to have it with a steak because the fat doesn't heat up enough where it will melt enough. So you may have like a ribeye. A ribeye to me is better medium and up.
No question.
Strips are good medium rare. Filet mignon is definitely excellent medium rare. But a medium rare steak, very flavorful, if you ask me. But you know what I mean? It's that temperature, I would say between 110 and 120, and that's your medium rare steak. But it also depends on your cut. You know what I mean? So some people just like it no matter what cut it is. But to me, the cut does matter. I like my fillets less cooked than I like my ribeyes or rib bones. So
understood there.
But let me throw this out there.
Yes, I'm listening.
Well done.
You messed up the steak.
Well done and juicy does not equate.
That's not a temperature.
That's like going forward
That's not a
backwards.
temperature. Yeah, it's not a
That's
temperature.
like going forward backwards. They don't equate.
No.
Well done and juicy
so those
is called.
two don't live in the same home.
No.
Well done and juicy is called pot roast. That's what well done and juicy is, pot roast. Or oxtails. That's well done and juicy. A stew, that's well done and juicy. A steak is not going to be well done and juicy.
No.
Doesn't exist.
The more you cook it, the more the moisture comes out of it and it evaporates. So you cannot sit there and go, well, her medium rare is juicy and my well done is tough.
Tough
love. Medium rare, because that medium rare took 10 minutes and that well done took 20.
Oh, more than 20, depending on the size.
Yeah.
And also too, don't get mad when you're at the party and you got the party at 8 and you know you invited Ray who like his food well done and everybody ordered medium rare, then they mad because Ray food well done and he ordered the biggest steak. And everybody gets, how long am I food? Waiting on Ray food.
We're waiting on Ray's. Yeah.
Ray held up all y'all food.
He sure enough did.
And it's crazy because sometimes the people that order medium well or well done steaks, they're the ones that don't really want to order an appetizer. So I don't have a buffer time. It just seems like everything is taking a very long time, and so an experienced server will gently tell them when they order it medium well or well done the expected time it will take for it to hit the table.
I've heard servers tell about time for different foods. Yes.
Because you can't be in. Go ahead,
because you lose perception of time when you're at the table and you just turn around in your stomach and you're like, what, where's my food? Why isn't this? Why isn't this?
You're hungry, yes.
Yeah, you lose perception of time. So I'm telling you in the beginning what to expect. So we're not getting the, excuse me, where's my food? Yeah. Because we've already had that discussion in the beginning. You order a well done, we have a double cut New York strip. A well done will take almost an hour because it's like a pot roast. Wow. An hour. We don't even serve it past medium. They say order 2 different steaks, order 2 different New York strips. Don't order the double cut because it takes too long. They will tell you right there, because also too, if it doesn't come back, that's $125 worth of meat that gets thrown away.
Yeah, steaks are extremely cost consuming when it comes to the restaurant business.
Yeah, so we try to steer you away from things that we know are going to cause certain issues. Right. So it also too, another thing, we're playing like the guide. Okay, please don't order that because we know you're going to send it back, and we know it's not. Prime example.
Give them the expectation. Yeah.
I had a group of young ladies, and the young lady, the African American lady, ordered this tuna salad, and I looked at her and I said, "You eat sushi?" She goes, "No." I said, This chicken cob is good, so like I'm telling her, like I'm trying to steer her because she's in a mixed group, but I don't want her to feel embarrassed.
Right.
So I was like, because not too many people eat certain things, and I know for a fact. So I said, that's why I asked her, so you eat sushi? And she goes, no. I said, okay, it's raw tuna, seared rare tuna, blah, 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 blah. I said, I'll grab it for you. I said, but this salad's good, this salad's good, this salad's good. Oh, so you think I'm not going to like it? I said, okay, all right. I bring it to her. Everyone else is eating their food. She eating around tuna. Eating around a tuna. $32 salad.
Whoa.
A $32 salad. And when she looked at me at the end, and the Asian girl at the table goes, she asked you if you like tuna, sushi. And she goes, yeah, I found that as fish stuff. And the Asian girl goes, she knew that the tuna is the sushi grade tuna. That's why she was asking you. She wasn't trying to embarrass you. Someone else at the table had to educate her, and I wasn't even trying to have her have that discussion with her colleagues. Right. I was looking out for her, but she took it as me saying that I didn't think she was going to like it. And
she took it personal. She took it personal. And see, I always listen to the server because I'm very picky. Mm-hmm. I'm very picky. So, and I don't want to waste the food either. See, I didn't do restaurant industry, but I did retail. I did retail for a very long time, right? And, people would come in the fitting room and they would just leave the clothes on the floor. And I'm like, thinking to myself, like, yo, that's what you do in your house? At the end of the day, we got to go in there, pick that stuff up. Plus, somebody else has to buy that. right? We're picking it up, we zipping it back up, we got to do everything to it. And two, at the end of the night, although the mall closed at 9:30, we wanted to get out sometime close near to 9:30, but you had to make that store perfect before you went home.
No
That's
question.
exactly how restaurant
Come
is.
in close to 9:30, they unfolding stuff. You be like, really?
Yeah.
You're not going to buy anything that late because you know what? You just don't make decisions like that. When you shopping, unless you saw it already early and you really want it, then people usually come in and buy it that late. But if you coming in that late and you got to try it on, you're not getting it. You're not getting it because people just don't make decisions like that, even with clothes. And I'm just like, yo, really? Come on. Like, you're unfolding all this. Made the store all straight. I was going to get out of here 9:30, but now you making a mess and you going in the fitting room. Now I'm going to leave here at 10. So, yes. So because I worked in retail, I'm very conscious when I go out and I do other things because I know what certain people in industries go through. I don't know on a high level what y'all go through, but I have respect for it, right? Like I know
we got enough information now.
Huh? I know the information.
You know what?
now.
That's a great thing. I just want to piggyback really quick on it, because especially with Kevin in the kitchen. A lot of the individuals who work in the kitchen, that's a passion of love. They don't really make the quality of money that they deserve. Like the people in the kitchen, that's straight love. They love what they do. They're doing it. But also too, they rely a lot on public transportation to get around. So when you're coming in late, and when they purposely pick the job where they know they can get out and still take public transportation home, and when you're coming in late and delaying them to go home, now you got people that can't afford to Uber home. They might now have to walk home. A lot of my dishwashers, they ride their bikes home. Or the kindness of servers and bartenders of where we now see that the subway's closed, because unlike New York, DC shuts down. DC will shut down quickly. They don't care. They will shut down a metro. Oh, it's snowing. 10:30, shut it down. Shut it down.
A flake of snow.
Can't get home.
Gone.
Buses. Oh, that bus goes up the hill. Shut it down. It's 8:30 though. How am I supposed to get home?
Right.
So you're delaying folks from getting home that do work that are the heart and soul of a restaurant. So the kindness of me and my husband that do drive in, or other servers. Do you know how many times that where people have come in late that I'm getting phone calls from him, or he's getting a phone call from me? Where are you? 1:31, taking the dishwasher home because he missed the metro because it was too late. Or I gotta take the pastry girl home because she stayed late for a party, and I can't have her standing out on the street by herself. And and we're driving all over the place to drive these folks home because they can't afford to do anything, because their system of thinking is, I work at a job that was supposed to close for me to get out maybe an hour, maybe 2 hours after closing, and still take public transportation.
Wow.
But I want to say this though.
All facts.
When you go out to eat at certain restaurants, and it's something I do to myself, your level of hunger does matter. If you're hungry, do not go to a place where you're going to have to sit and wait 20 minutes for a steak to get cooked.
You ain't lying.
True that.
Go through a drive-through. Go through a drive-through. Go to the sandwich shop.
No, listen.
Listen to me.
No.
Listen, Linda, listen. Linda, listen. If you hungry, don't walk up in the Capitol Grill and you want to order a medium well steak, but then you want it in 5 minutes. If I know my level, if I know I'm going out to dinner later on, so me, Rock, and Don, we going out to dinner at 8 o'clock. I'm gonna eat something before I go.
Oh no!
To hold me up.
No.
I'll hold me up just to hold me up.
Time out.
Cheryl's not feeling none of this. She ain't feeling none of this at all.
Let me tell you something, Kevin. I'm gonna tell you why I don't eat. Okay, especially if I'm going to a party, like to a dinner party, whatever the case may be, because that's my experience, right? Because all of us, like, it's not like every day I'm just going out to eat, right? So this is my experience. When I come there, I want to be hungry. I want to enjoy my food. Let's get some appetizers on this table.
See, that's the thing. Yes, you are doing the whole experience. So you're doing the appetizers, you're doing the salad. You're not just coming in and give me a well done steak. No, you're doing the whole experience.
Late night diners are not up there for the experience.
Yeah, they're there to eat.
They're just there to eat and to put on the Instagram that they were there.
I haven't been a mixture of all of them. I have called places and be like, okay, what time the kitchen closed? Because I'm trying to get something real quick. right? I've been all of them. Okay, I've been at the party with the table of 10. I've been out to dinner with just me and someone else. Okay, I've been all across the board. I've been out to dinner with the kids, right? And I'm like, go ahead, bring the kids their food first. We don't care, let the kids eat so they can be quiet and we'll sit here and chat. And whenever you bring our food is fine. So I have been across the board. But normally when I'm going out, I'm not eating before, Kevin. No.
Well, also too
No,
sure.
what I mean by I'm not talking about dinner. I'm not talking like a quick snack or something like
I'm not eating nothing. Bring
Yeah.
my
But
bread,
Cheryl,
bring my salad, bring my appetizer. I'm eating when I get there.
But also too, Cheryl, but see, Cheryl, you don't drink. So also too, before we going out, we gotta put something on our stomach, so you ain't going into the restaurant acting no crazy.
Right.
True.
Yeah.
You don't drink.
That's true. I do not drink. That's true.
So you
gotta soak that liquor up.
Restaurant acting crazy.
But
I want to go there acting crazy.
But see, when people don't
Kevin.
realize though, because I've had the experience. One time I'm in Jersey and I'm in a restaurant. We sitting there, my stomach touching my back, and I swear to God, I'm sitting there like this, Lord, and I'm looking at the McDonald's. I'm looking at the McDonald's in the window like, yo, and I'm trying to be cool because I'm in the business. And I'm sitting there shaking, and I'm like, no. So then I'm like, yo, can we get some appetizers, whatever. And you know how they say it's just, people come in there. So my thing is, when I am hungry, that's how I judge what I'm going to eat. Okay, if we're going to sit down and we're going to have something to eat, I mean, I do have patience because I'm in the business, but it's like being with a kid. If your kid don't have patience to sit there.
No.
You know that your child cannot sit there. So you got to know, like, okay, bring the kids food first or something to that effect. But if you come up in there and you like your filet medium well, and you want a 12 ounce, don't walk up in there with your stomach touching your back.
Well, or get some appetizers. That's all. Get some appetizers.
Do the whole experience. If you want to dine and you're hungry, do the whole experience and take your time to eat your food and get your salads and do the whole experience. I do agree. But when it's the I'm ready to eat now, and I'm like this. Okay, well, Donnie, I knew you was coming ahead. I didn't know that you was hungry.
But Don, here's the deal. When people, not just the hungry people, but before the game, before the movie, before the show, you need to time yourself.
Kevin, we ain't got time for that.
If you know the Broadway play starts at 8 o'clock,
my show starts at 8.
By 6.
No, my show starts at 8. Can you
be by 6?
Don't sit me down. If I told you my show is starting at 8 and you want to still seek me because you want to be greedy for the money, then get my food out here.
But don't seek me
if I told you the whole story.
That's the GM.
I have went in plenty of restaurants. I said, listen, the play starts at 8. Can you feed me? And they like, yeah, sit down. So if you want to sit me down, then bring me my food.
That's on the GM.
That's definitely on the GM. But you know what, Cheryl? I do prefer that I know you have some time restraints. Then I'm not going to do everything like I would normally do. Prime example, one of the restaurants I used to work at was around the center, and people would come in here right before the basketball games or hockey games, but like, I gotta be out in half an hour. I'm like this, you want your dessert on your table with your steak? We don't care.
Right, absolutely. That's the only time we break That's the only time we break protocol.
That's the only time. You want it? We'll give it to you. But don't call back the next day. My dessert was on the table with the steak, but you told me you had a show at 8 o'clock. I had to get everything on the table. You can't have it all you want.
Don't complain. Don't complain.
Rock.
Yes,
Rock.
exactly.
Tell Cheryl about the Stanley Cup.
Oh, Jesus.
I mean, what part of it do you want me to start?
The game started at 7, but I'm walking in 6:30.
That's crazy. Crazy.
First of all, I love sweaters, and then the sweaters is the jerseys that they wear in before the game. Anyone that's coming in with a sweater, we know they're
not going to complain.
They're not going to complain.
Get their food and they're gone.
Yeah, they're going to get their food and they're gone, and they're going to order a whole lot, and it doesn't matter if a course comes on top of a course.
Yeah, they don't care.
We loved it. We love it. And they may even come back after their drunken stupor if they win it for the games. They'll come back. But if you're going to come in it was almost a practice by me. And this goes along on what place you're at and the establishment. I would make it if I knew that there was Pink Floyd coming in, if it was Billy Joel, if it was Usher, if it was a hockey game, if it was a basketball game, or anything like that that's happening in the area. Do we have a time constraint today? Oh, yeah, we're going to go see the Hamilton. Oh, yes, by the way, we got to be out in an hour. Oh, no, we're here for a leisurely dining experience. Oh, Pink Floyd starts in like 45 minutes. That information gives me all of the stuff that I need to be able to tell Kevin for their dining experience what I need. And everything will go extremely well. But if I don't inquire that, and I don't know that, and then all of a sudden at the end, it's like, we need this, we need our check, we need this, and then I'm engaged with other tables, and I don't want anyone to be late for their play or, seats for their game,
no one
stuff
does.
like that. But if I have that information in the beginning, it makes so much of a good dining experience for everybody.
Oh, yeah. I always, if that's my situation, I always say in the beginning, I'm like, but when I went to New York on Broadway, they would ask you, because they know you in a certain area. They would ask you, are you going to a show? And then, if I came after, they would say, okay, how was the show if you went to a show? Exactly. So yeah, that don't matter. But yes, if I went before the show, 100%, I would say, look, I got to be in my seat before 8.
Put it in your reservations. Put it in your reservations as well. Put it in the notes. Because
I didn't do no reservations. I just got
I've gone over the reservation thing with you. Make a reservation.
This is the other problem too.
Make a reservation.
Can you seat me now? It's only 2 of us.
Make a reservation.
You got the other 45 people who made their reservations at 6 o'clock. You can't get in, and then you show up. And that's where the problem comes.
No, let me tell you something, Kevin. You say the right words to that hostess, and you getting in. Can I tell you?
That don't mean you getting good service.
Well, listen, I got in as long as I ate.
Okay? Oh well. If that's your bar.
No, because see, comes out. There's many times that I have been places and I have smiled and been courteous, and you've understand someone's plight, and you've said something to the point where if you can't, and they understand, when they see you a reasonable individual, you're good.
Yes, 100%.
I've been there and I've 100%. Done that, and we have worked with folks that have had a whole bunch of things that need to be done, and I'm like this. All right, you're reasonable. As long as you're working with me, I'm gonna work with you. We're good, and then it's all worked out. It's just the people that finally get the way in the door, and then the personality then switch and be like, hey, what happened to you at the door?
Yeah, what happened to your representative? Your representative ain't here now.
No, I'm always good. Listen, I had went at the play. It was 8 of us. We were starving. It was a soul food restaurant in New York. I never forget it. Girlfriend had her nice little reservation book there. I don't know about no reservations. She was like, do you have reservation? I was like, mm-mm. She was like, well, I'm not sure. And it was a whole lot of people. I said, well, could that be me? I got in.
Very disrespectful.
You done took somebody's reservation.
Very disrespectful.
I ain't gonna say nothing. I'm gonna just let it go.
Hey, listen. One day, me and the Dawn went to this restaurant, and the hostess was like, "All right, let me check to see if I have a table." She got the crane that around the joint to look at the reservations. I'm like, oh my God. She gonna give another name. Man, that's very disrespectful.
No, the guy didn't know how to use the machine, and I said, baby, you need help. And
move out the way.
And I helped him.
That's me right there.
She helped him.
Yeah, that's what happened. That's what happened. If it was you, Cheryl, if it was you, Cheryl, you'd be like this. Where that couple at? Who's that impersonating me?
Next time, LaDawn, just say what had happened was.
What had happened?
No, anytime.
As an experienced person, she helped them. I like
that. That's what happened. That's what happened. She helped them.
Guess what? We got a table, didn't we? Thank you.
We did.
Okay.
We had a good time. We had a lovely time.
And he put us in a real nice spot, too.
Oh, didn't he? Yeah, for Mr. Mockensperger.
All right, guys.
Jewish.
Here is my last question. If you can tell everyone one thing they should keep in mind when going out to eat, what would it be? I'll start with Kevin.
Wow. Your server, we want the same respect that you want. So we deserve the same respect that you want. So just like you want to be respected and spoken to a certain way and treated a certain way, we deserve the same thing. So, you know, we all have issues. We all got problems, whether with the significant other or the kids, and we have life problems. When you come in there, leave your problems at the door. Let us take care of you, give you a wonderful experience, and go from there. You know what I mean? But I'm not there to take on your stress. You know what I mean? So you stress out the server stress out the cook stress out the manager, and it's a trickle down effect. You know what I mean? So it is to give yourself a better experience. Like I say, you catch more flies with honey than you do vinegar. So if you come up in there and you're courteous to your server and respectful to your server, and your server puts your food in and he comes to me and everything, and we just have a good shift. But when you start, how you say attitudes are contagious, that's what happens. You come in with a bad attitude, and if that server or picks up that bad attitude and they pass it on, and it just goes, and then all of a sudden now you done pissed off the cook. you know what I mean? It's a trickle down effect. So just be courteous.
I like that. Same respect. I like it. Thank you, Kevin. LaDon?
One, I'm a human being. I have emotions just like you. I could be having a bad day. You could be having a bad day. We could be having a great day. We just don't know. Everyone is human. Two, server versus servant. And three, just be patient. Patience goes a long, long way. Just be patient.
I like it.
Patient, just be patient.
Respect and patience. Okay, I love it. Yeah. Okay, wonderful. Okay, and Rock?
I want to correct Kevin real quick. I think the phrase is you catch more bees with honey than vinegar, not flies. But I digress. Back to the question. I want to harp on, pretty much a theme that we've talked about. Just be a good guest. Treat me the way that you want to be treated, or I'm going to treat you the way that you come into my home. And if we all have that mutual respect, everything will go very, very well for your dining experience. And for me, I am a top level professional. I will only give you the best of my ability. Some nights it's going to be chaotic or hectic, and I might not be able to give you everything that you want at the time, but you will also see the effort. And I will always say, if I didn't meet that level or that effort, just come back the next time. I promise you, I will make it up to you.
I like that.
I have one more thing to add.
Yeah, sure.
In DC, Maryland area, certain laws are different than other areas like Colorado and stuff in LA. Febreze the weed smoke before you come inside the building.
Wait, what did you
Febreze
say?
the weed smoke. We know you can smoke legally. A little Febreze on the clothes. Get the weed. Don't come in there with the weed smoke and walk out with the kids so they can get high with you.
I'm not gonna lie. The weed smoke is a problem. I'm not exactly sure why this is a fragrance of preference, but I'm a person who doesn't smoke, so it's very annoying, and it gives me headaches. I don't like it. I don't like it I don't like when I have to take your coat and put it into the coat closet with all your weed smell. Now it's, it smelled up the whole coat closet. Yeah. And by the way, you get your coat back and you're thinking, what are people like smoking around my coat? You don't even want it on your clothes. You might be someone who smokes and is very respectful, but these people are not respectful because they just believe like, well, it's legal, so I can just be whatever. It really smells up the whole restaurant, and it also gives off the wrong odor for the restaurant. If I'm cooking steaks, you want to walk into a place that smells like steaks. You don't want to walk into a place that smells like a dispensary. So please, just be respectful for everybody around when it comes to your extracurricular activities.
Smoke, take a shower, then go out.
Take a shower, then go out. So,
don't hot box. Whatever these kids are doing now, hot boxing with 5 of y'all with the blood, and then walking into a restaurant, that is unacceptable behavior.
Unacceptable behavior.
And don't have the cipher outside the restaurant.
The what, Kevin?
Don't have the cipher outside the restaurant.
What's that?
When they that's when they passing the weed around. Because it's legal. Because it's legal, so people will be on the block in front of the restaurant, like in between meals. Now people go outside and have a cigarette, they'll go outside and smoke blunt and pass it around, then come back in with that gust of weed smoke coming in with them.
Yeah. People really need to understand that just because something is legal doesn't mean you get to walk into a place intoxicated or inebriated. It's the same thing with alcohol. If you walk into my establishment, and LaDawn can talk to you about this, if somebody walks into a bar and they're already inebriated, she can refuse service.
To serve them. I'm not allowed to serve them.
Which is good, but I'm sure, as you stated, can get a little sticky.
Absolutely. It's very dicey.
Sure enough does.
It's a sensitive situation.
It's a sensitive situation.
Yeah.
You telling me I'm drunk and high? How do you know? You're not me.
Right.
Yeah, I'm sure that can get really sticky. Yes, go ahead, Kevin.
I'm sorry. Instagram clothes is not proper attire for a restaurant.
Oh, that's, I forgot about dress code.
Instagram share clothes with the hanging out and with the you can see the thong, and then you want to walk in a restaurant. That's not.
Well, you know what the problem with that is, in my opinion, Kevin. This whole thing, these reality shows and the social media have everybody going crazy. And with a lot of these reality shows, they wear the sheer outfits out to public places. And now people think that is just acceptable, that I can wear like lingerie to go eat. And
I want to make this distinction real quick. I want to make this distinction because you're 1000% correct. There is proper attire that a bouncer will let a female walk in at a club or a lounge.
Yes.
That is totally different from a dining establishment, because everyone that is in that dining establishment is not above 18.
Right.
So if you're there with your daughter and a couple of girlfriends for like a sweet 16 party, and they're old enough to be out past 9 or 10, doesn't give you the right to come in there underdressed or showing a lot of your skin.
Everybody don't want to see your ass in cleavage.
Well, right. But you know what though, Kevin? But here's the problem though, is there, if y'all let them in the restaurant, then y'all let them in.
Well, that's the problem.
A couple of things. Okay, all right. So
and it's just not women too. Men come in under absolutely not dressed properly.
All right, a couple of things when it comes to restaurants and dress codes, because of situations where it's been deemed racial. So depending on what kind of environment that you work in, and if you have a particular non-ethnic management group, they don't want to get tagged as being racial.
I can understand that.
And discriminative. So even though they know it's inappropriate and not susceptible, but at the same time, they don't want to say anything because they don't want to get that tag of being a racial individual. And it doesn't even have to do anything about race. It's that you don't got no clothes on. Right. But some people turn it into a racial situation because everyone now knows key buzzwords that will get you what you need and what you want.
Yep.
And it will shut down situations because of they don't want the confrontation of being tagged in that situation. So
because it's deadly now in this cancel society, right?
That's one. But
so the minute you have a restaurant that is accused, because people go right away on social media, whether they're right or wrong, they don't care.
Right.
They
don't have to be right.
I was just in this restaurant and the person of non-color told me that I couldn't wear this and that. What's wrong with my outfit? And then everybody's going to be in agreement with them. and they're going to be like, let's cancel this restaurant altogether, which is crazy. But that's another conversation we can have at another time. It's just insanity with this whole cancel society. But you are right, Ladon. It's like you got to pick and choose your battle, so to speak.
That is correct.
Right.
It is.
If I go say something to her, they're all going to go crazy, and it's going to become something bigger than it is. But at the end of the day, she's in a sheer shirt with her panties and bra on.
Right.
So
And guys, and men have a problem too. And me and LaDawn talked about one of the CNN correspondents that came into the restaurant that wanted to wear a ball cap, and when we asked him to remove it, he made it a big racial thing, went on TV, it became a big thing. And it's like, we don't allow ball caps. Right. And he just made it seem like, oh, well, this is a cultural thing. Black people wear ball caps. And it's like, well, you know, black people only make up 13% of America. So ball caps is sold amongst everybody. You know, it's not only black people who was dominating the ball cap era. Like, what the hell are you talking about? Nobody allows ball caps in their dining room. Nobody.
Right.
And I don't understand where this became. You're not allowed to sit at your grandmother's table with a ball cap on and eat.
That's exactly what I said.
You take your hat off in a restaurant.
Absolutely. But now it became a racial and a personal thing. You make me take my hat off because I'm black. So.
Right.
And my hoodie. They want to walk in here with their hoodies too. Problem.
Well, yeah,
it's tough. It's tough. It's a fine line that everyone is walking right now. And during COVID, everyone is in a particular situation, and you know, everyone's been cooped up for a while now. We have a lot of pent up attitudes, and you know, everyone's just trying to breathe. Right. But at the same time, you know, you got to think about it. We're the industry that's been hit the hardest.
I know.
No question.
During this COVID situation, it's hard, and now you got. And we're interacting with people on a personal level where we're in danger a lot, you know, and we're doing a lot of things to protect ourselves and stuff like that. And then when you have the confrontation of just coming to work, just trying to serve you and trying to put food on the table for your family and keep your bills on, because if you don't go to work, you don't get unemployment. You know, you get canceled. Yeah. You know, you're in a bad, sticky situation. And then when you have these situations and where you're like, thank God that you're having this, where we're trying to educate folks. So where we can say, look, if you don't believe in certain things, I understand, but this is the personal level on a one-on-one of what's going on and what's happening on the everyday situation. You're not just hurting yourself. You're hurting a whole group of individuals that are mostly minorities and mostly women that are putting themselves through a lot of stuff to come in here to take care of you for the hassle for your entertainment of value, to where you feel is just they missed something, and now I'm just going to just not give them any money whatsoever, which is just total disrespectful. We're just asking for everyone to have some kind of humanity and common sense when it comes to just treating somebody the way that you want to be treated, especially with this industry. Because also too, you close us down, where are you going to go?
Where are you going to go?
Where are you going to go?
Well, you know what? I will say this, during COVID, what I liked out here where I live is that a lot of the restaurants, just to probably stay afloat and maybe get rid of some of the food, not have the food go bad, that was, you know, that they already had on hand. They did a lot of family packages that you could get, you know, and come pick up, and, you know, and like they didn't deliver to you, but you could come pick it up. And when I say family packages, one of the restaurants, they did like these family meals, and they were so cheap, like maybe $34.99, $40. You was getting grilled chicken, mashed potatoes, you was getting some type of dessert or whatever, just to keep them afloat during COVID. And it was hard for them, but I was patient, because you would get there sometime and your order wasn't ready, because again, they wasn't fully staffing the restaurant either, right? They can't, right? So it was like a catch-22. They was trying to stay open, but they really couldn't. And then, you know, they couldn't really fully staff because they didn't know, like, if people were really going to order. Like, I only got the word from a friend. She was like, oh, listen, this restaurant and that restaurant, they're doing these family meals. And she said, I bought one the other day and they're really good. So I got it through word of mouth from a friend, and I called and I ordered. So it's like, yes, it's so many. COVID changed all of our lives, right?
Yes.
But as you stated, it really had a huge impact on the restaurant industry. Huge. We just got word out here that now we can go to 35% indoor dining. When they first opened it up, and it was like this whole outside thing, but there was a lot of restaurants that wasn't prepared. They never, before COVID, they didn't do anything outside. And so they all had to go out and buy these tents and buy these tables.
And where are you getting this money?
Right.
Where are you getting this money when you've been shut down for so many months?
Right.
And where you're getting this money for these PPEs of all the stuff that you're supposed to have to protect your service. And then you got people coming on and not tipping your staff that has been home for 6 months, not making any money.
Right.
You know, it's a bad conundrum that we're all in. And like I said, we just want the passion and the humanity of what's going on. I will say, in the beginning, when restaurants first opened back up with COVID, people were very grateful.
Nice.
Very grateful.
Nice.
Now I think the law has set in and no one just cares anymore.
But also too is what happens is because the restaurant needs the money, they're accepting everybody and anybody who comes in.
That is correct.
And so the same clientele they would have turned in at the door this time last year, and what that had been unacceptable, they are accepting anybody and everybody. And so this is when you had these people coming in here and who never really ate or ate out before. That's what restaurant week is. When you got people who don't really eat out. Restaurant week. Restaurant week.
That's part two.
Restaurant week. I'm gonna say rock. Restaurant week is like the mall during Christmas. You got certain people who don't touch the mall till Christmas. You got certain people who don't eat out until restaurant week. So they don't know how to act. And then these are the people you got coming in now. And so it's like you got that person and who say, I don't go to the mall until December, and they want to try to buy every gift. Yep. And you know, Cheryl, they come in there December 24th, trying to buy for their wife, don't even know her size.
Well, let me tell you, ironically, Kevin, December 24th, most of the men shop. It was a very quiet day. All of the women, they shopped all ahead of time and before. Did a lot on Black Friday, which friends in the restaurant industry have told me that that's a heavy day. That people eat out that Black Friday because you're shopping and then you're eating and then you go continue shopping. So yeah, we have a lot to talk about. But
yes, I want to hope that real quick, Cheryl. I really hope that you get a lot of hits and this becomes extremely educational for people. And I hope there's a part two because there is still a lot of other subjects that we can touch upon, just like the one that Kevin was talking about. Right. There's still a lot of stuff to talk about.
And we are going to do a part two, but I want to close it out.
That's what's up.
Y'all have been amazing. And can I tell you something? I'm going to be very honest with you. For me, the education on tips alone was enlightening because I lied to you not. I swore that my tip only went to the person that was serving me. No. And
not at any restaurant. Every restaurant has a policy and it depends upon the restaurant on the percentage. So when LaDawn said I'm tipping out between 20% and 30%, some restaurants like Joe's crab that everyone likes to eat at, it's not crab shack, but it's Joe's Stone Crab. Yes, that place. The server, that particular restaurant, the servers are tipping up to 45 to 48%. So if they make 500 that night, they're only walking out with 250. So whatever you're tipping them, it completely is in half. You tip them $50, you tip that server $50, they're only getting $25.
I know for sure. And I think next time with our part two, I want to bring in some other non-restaurant people.
Do that. Let's do that.
You know, it's not kind of us against y'all, like us asking your questions, you know.
It's like versus. We need some music. Like versus.
Hey, Rock, we need to call up Dom.
I can do that.
Because I'm telling you, there's so many things that people don't know, and that tip thing is one. The only time I thought something different is my son in 2020, when he turned 15, we went to Top Golf, and the girl, it wasn't like she was trying to be shady when she told me, but she said something to me about a team tip. She was like, "Oh, it goes to it's everybody, right?"
Or team pool,
team
pool, right? And
team
I was
pool,
like, "What?" Because I felt like this girl worked so hard. I mean, I felt like if I needed something, it was in my hand, like she was just giving it to me. Like, I don't know how she knew, like she was that good, right? And so when that was mentioned, I was like, oh my God, I can't believe like she has to share this with everybody, like so many people.
Yes.
And I even gave her extra money. Like I gave her, because my tip that day, it was within my check. Because again, I set it up ahead of time, right? Like y'all was
Right.
saying, and the food was preset, what all the kids was going to get and all my guests, right? And so already my tip was built in my payment.
That's
And
correct.
so I dug in my purse and my girlfriend, and we gave her extra money. So now I guess that extra money, she still had to share that too.
Okay, so real quick, I know you're not trying to extend this conversation any further,
Right.
but to ease your heart,
Right.
anything that is part of a contract, that is the money that is split amongst the staff. Any
Okay.
extra money that is put in after the fact is only split amongst the people that have taken care of that room. So if me and LaDon are teaming in a room and the gratuity is already done in a contract, the money that was in the contract is split amongst the breakdown of the staff.
Okay.
The extra money that you give in is only split between me and LaDon.
Oh, well, I feel better then. I feel better.
Okay. So that money, that extra money that you handed to that particular individual,
right,
she kept
It
that
went straight to
herself.
her. It went to her.
Okay. All right.
That is a understanding. It's also called pocket money or hand-to-hand money. Some people call it a whole lot of different things. But if you walked into a place, like let's say this place that up and down, right?
Mhm.
And you go into a place and that maitre d' is like this. Cheryl, I have your table ready. It's always ready for you. You're like this. You're always my guy. You always take care of me. And you put a 20 in his hand or whatever,
Right.
that's his.
That's his.
Well, that's nice. Okay, that's good to know.
Yes.
That's his.
That's good to know.
Everybody, it's one
You
of those
put it in the
unspoken
hand,
words.
it's theirs.
Okay.
Everyone's
Right.
understanding of that.
Yes.
Okay, that's good to know, because we gave her a whole lot of extra money. I'm telling you, I finished sipping my water and she was like, here's another one. I'm like, this girl, where did she come from? Like,
She was on her A game, Cheryl.
There you go, Cheryl. That's what I'm talking.
See?
That's that personalized service. That's that professional echelon service you got. That's what's up.
She was good. She was really good. And it was at Top Golf. I'm telling you, it was nice. And this was like, I broke out of COVID because this was in 2020. So for us, when did we start to come out? Like in May? Yeah, right? Like in May.
June, yeah.
Yeah, May and June, right? And his birthday was in July. So I told him, listen, you're lucking up. We're lucky we can even go here, right? Because we was on lockdown forever. And, I said, we're going to be nice to everybody. Like when you see them, this, that, and the other. So it was a good experience. So I was
That's
happy
what we're
that we
aiming
did
to please.
do it.
Good experience. That's what's up.
We was on lockdown together. Mila, Dawn, and Rob.
Oh, wait, listen. All right. So let me wrap this up and let me say this. Let me give out some tips here. What I love that you said was we got to be a good guest.
Absolutely.
We got to be a good guest. So we got to reciprocate each other, right?
Yes.
Right.
Y'all gonna be good, but we need to be good too. We can't be at the table acting like a straight booger. So I like that, right?
True.
Yeah, you can't be sitting there acting crazy. I like you said respectful, right? Be respectful too. Because your server is a human being. And LaDon, I love the way you said it. You are the server, not the servant. Okay, not going to be, picking up stuff you just purposely throwing on the floor or anything crazy like that. I do love it, right? And I think this is more now just kind of for everybody. Be mindful of your dress. I mean, you can, yes, you can wear what you want. People can wear what they want, but be respectful, especially if you're going to certain places. I do know what part of the problem is. People are going out and then they may go get something to eat, and and that's what causes part of the problem, because they're wearing whatever out and then they just go and they're trying to get something to eat. And yeah, that is acceptable, but you got to be mindful of where you're going to go after you go out, and you go according to your dress. That's all I guess I could say with that, right? Because like you said, if I'm in the restaurant with my kids, I don't want my kids seeing all of that. So one time, I think I told Kevin this story. We was flying somewhere. We was flying to Disney. It was me, my girlfriend, her daughter, and my son. I don't know what this girl was on. I don't know what happened. But when I tell you the girl had no clothes on and it was a show, it was a show. And I was like, why is somebody going to stop this? I'm like covering my son's eyes. It was crazy. Like you have to, be mindful, I guess, of your dress, especially if you're going in an establishment where the average family maybe are just there having their regular normal family dinner, right?
I
There
don't
are
also,
places.
I also,
Go
I
ahead.
don't want to, I don't also, Cheryl, real quick, and I know you're going to finish this off, but I just don't also want to be like it's only women. Men running in, come in there in their track suits, or they finish their workout and they want to come in there with their tee and their baggy sweatpants with no drawers on and their flip flops. That's not acceptable dining as well. You know what I
No,
mean?
it's not. No, it's not. We don't want to see all that. No, it
There's
is not.
certain
Pull
places for the gray
yourself together
sweatpants.
before you come in the restaurant. Yes, Kevin. I'm sorry.
There's certain places for the gray sweatpants. That's all I'm gonna say. The gray sweatpants is not acceptable everywhere you go.
You ain't lying,
Gray
bro.
sweatpants is not acceptable everywhere you go. That's all I'm gonna say.
I mean, but if you're gonna have on the sweatpants, Kevin, at least have some underwear on. Like, come on, we don't need all that.
Gray sweatpants for home.
that we're not doing. Okay. Another thing I really want people to get from this and get out of this. Okay. Yes. One check, and maybe you got 2-3 credit cards for that one check. Okay, fine. We could put 50 on this card, 50 on that card, 50 on the other. This 10 people and 10 separate checks, and don't put this on that one or put her drinks on mine. It's too much. It's drama. It's a mathematical problem, and times 2 and square this and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
And like get yourself together. I like that idea that you said, LaDon. You know, like you said, the generation now, because they're used to this Cash App and this Venmo.
Oh my God, yes.
I'm just getting into it. I'm like, what, Cash App? And what's the other one where it comes right from your bank? I'm like, I don't have
Zelle.
Yeah,
Zelle is beautiful.
Like,
Zelle is beautiful. FDIC incorporated, insured. FDIC.
Zelle is insured. Yeah, Zelle is insured.
That's why I probably need to get with that, because people ask me about Zelle, and I'm like, I don't Zelle. I just did Cash App. Can I?
Zelle is secured by the banks.
By the bank. When you go into your
like bank to bank, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So when you go into your bank account, you'll see Zelle at the bottom.
Well, I guess I got to get with it, y'all.
Yes, got to get Zelle.
Yeah, I got to get Zelle. But I do like that idea. Zelle, Cash App. Do whatever you need to do to one person and let that one person make the payment.
Correct.
For all of these people out there, okay, fine if you want to do guest funded birthday parties, but guess what? Tell your guests to go look on the internet, the website of that restaurant, and make sure that they can afford to be a part of this guest funded birthday party. Okay.
Correct.
You need to do that. You need to tell your people what they are in for, what the expectation is, and that they need to come to the reservation on time, because they're holding up everybody and they're impacting everyone in that restaurant, in the industry, when they don't show up on time.
That is correct.
That's correct.
I heard y'all. And
yes.
I got what y'all said. And I love each and every one of y'all.
Thank you, Cheryl.
Yes, that's honey, girlfriend. You my girl there. And I love the shirt there. It's looking like you have a heart in that shirt.
I do, here.
I love it. You ready for Valentine's Day? I love it.
I am. I'm theme appropriate.
Okay.
I'm the one who needs to be worried.
Oh, I forgot to tell the people. No proposals at the restaurant unless you have spoken to the person you about to propose to ahead of time. It can be a surprise to them, but you should have spoken to them ahead of time. And yes, they're agreeable to marrying you. So they have seen some proposals gone wrong. And
a lot.
Guys, they said a lot. And guys, I want everyone out there to know this has been a beautiful, wonderful conversation. I enjoyed my Saturday night here, and we will definitely have a part two, and we're going to bring some restaurant guests. Okay, we need to bring some restaurant guests on the line with us next time, and they get to ask y'all some questions too. But
That's
guys,
beautiful. Yeah.
yes, thank you guys. And listen, I know COVID has taken a toll on y'all in your industry. I am praying for the best because listen, just as much as y'all need us to come to the restaurant, we want to get out. We want to get out.
True.
We're tired of being stuck inside. This is insanity.
Yes.
And I'm just praying that, before this year ends, that, God turns things around and we can get back to full capacity in the restaurants and everything else so we can get back out in these streets. Oh yeah, and wait, before I end it too, people no smoking the weed and then coming in the restaurant. Yes. And
Please.
especially the establishment where they got to take your coat and you're going to be stinking up everybody else's stuff. Like that's not right, right? Yeah. So
That's
no
not right.
smoking either. No, even if it's legal in your state, don't do that. When you come out to a restaurant, be prepared, have your money, and then have your extra money so that you can give the proper tip.
True.
All right. And none of this just because the server makes one mistake, because people kill me with that. One mistake is going to cancel out their whole tip. Not right and so unfair. So unfair. They did well the whole time, and one little thing you want to cancel out their tip. Yes, Kevin. Yes, we're going to close out. But yes, Kevin.
We're gonna close this out. If you have a complaint, say something now, not when the check comes.
Yeah.
That I hate that. Don't wait till the check comes. Then everybody got a complaint about something that happened 20 minutes ago when it could have been corrected.
Got you. That's a good thing too. Don't wait till the check come and then be like you don't want to pay and you don't want to do this because something earlier happened wrong.
That's correct.
Thank you guys.
Thank you,
Cheryl, thank you.
Yes,
It was a pleasure. It was an absolute pleasure. Thank you for doing this for us.
Thank you guys. And take care. We'll be in touch for part two.
All right, part two.
Right,
part two. That's what's up. Holla.
Deuces.
Bye, guys.
Bye,
Bye, girl.